What's up, everybody? It is 8 o'clock on the East Coast. It's 5 p.m. on the West Coast, where the guests tonight are coming from. I got Renae and Danny Rocha of Portuguese Pythons in the green room tonight. Let's get right to it. Stick around. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for being here. It's Proper Royals Live coming to you ad-free. I don't know if you've noticed on YouTube now, there's no more ads. You don't have to sit through stuff. You don't have to skip stuff. If you're driving, you don't have to look away from the road to try and skip an ad. That's brought to you by people like Palm Street, as well as kind people like Portuguese Pythons. Look, all joking or tongue-in-cheek stuff aside, people told me that the episodes were almost unwatchable because there were so many ads these days. And I think partly that's because it's good content and they were able to sell the ad space. But I want it to be good for the viewer. And there's so many people that from within the community that support the community. I said, you know what, get rid of the YouTube ads. So coming to you ad free. I hope you enjoy it. If you haven't tried Palm Street, you should check it out. You can download the app. It is a live selling platform. So reptiles, but a whole lot of other cool things as well. It's live. It's interactive. The best way I could describe it is kind of a TikTok meets a selling platform. Those are my words, not theirs. But go check it out. If you want to apply to sell on Palm Street, there is a link down below that you can apply to sell reptiles. You do have to go through a vetting process to get approved on there, but it's mainly husbandry and making sure that you know how to ship live animals. We don't need people, practicing these things if they don't know what they're doing. So check that out. Huge thanks to Palm Street. Thank you to Cold Blooded Expos this past weekend in Minneapolis. Fun show. One thing I didn't realize when I moved to the upper Midwest, if it's a beautiful day in the summer, everybody is outdoors. They're out somewhere. Like for reptile shows, we need rainy, nasty days. That's what we need because we have these winters that everybody gets cooped up in. The days are long, like 10 p.m. at night. It's still like dusk outside here in Minneapolis. So there's these long, beautiful days. And anyhow, even with all that, it was still a solid show. It wasn't like one crazy rush. It was just a steady flow coming and going all day. I had a solid show, especially for summertime. So I appreciate it. Any of y'all that are tuning in tonight for the first time that maybe I met this weekend, thanks for the support. I appreciate it. Did you see the quiet announcement this week? I predicted that the green check mark was the imminent indicator of the increase in shipping prices. It is here. So what better time than ever to check out Redline Shipping? I'll tell you more about them later. It came true. It's there. I don't have much in the way of announcements, so I'll just tell you a little bit about what's going on. This whole room now, for the first time in 3 years, all my animals are now on substrate. I used to, and I still prefer, but I can't right now. I prefer just paper towels that I clean, and I just swap the whole tubs. I have extra tubs. Twice a week, I would go through and flip the whole room, any that were soiled. I mean, if they're still clean, I wouldn't flip them. But as far as like spot cleaning and that stuff, I just don't like it. But I'm in the process of moving to a new facility, and I've got to start taking things like my sink and starting to get some of my equipment out of here. And I need to be able to spot clean and clean by hand rather than flipping tubs constantly. So my son and I, Charlie, we got that done today. And so it's kind of a big day, nice fresh aspen smell in the room. I worked hard, man. I think nearly 300 tubs set up, washed, put away. Everything is on drying racks, room cleaned. So I will be moving the reptiles into the new facility, or starting to, in the next probably 2 weeks or so. The rodents are there now, and I'm operating out of there. So I got to get back to where I only have one place to operate from. Going back and forth is it's not efficient. Speaking of Palm Street, before the end of the month, I'm going to pick a date. You guys in the comments, you can let me know too. Like, what's the best day to do an auction? Like, what's a day when there's not, every other podcast going, which is cool. I got no problem with other podcasts, but like also that you would tune into an auction. Like, is something out of the box, like a Thursday afternoon, cool? Like maybe you're at work, you're just like, I got to have some entertainment. Or should I do like Sunday midday? There's no football. I don't think there's going to be the basketball finals. But anyway, I'm going to do 20 animals that start at $20 bid prices. Everybody's looking for deals these days. It's a tough market. I got to move some stuff. We'll see what happens. I call it 20 for 20. I'll start those at 20, but I'm going to do it at the end of the month. I want to advertise it for like 2-3 weeks, really get some eyeballs on it. And I'll throw in some cool stuff too. I promise you that. Look at this. Speaking of good people that help out good people, shedtesting.com. He's here for the Portuguese people. Check out properroyals.com if you haven't. It's mostly up to date. I made a couple investments this week, so I actually have some new things that are newly obsolete that I'll start to sell that were holdbacks. So I'll update that. I'll post those on Instagram as well. And then stay tuned on Instagram. We'll do a live cutting this week. I haven't done one of those in a while. I've got some clutches coming up. This one will be fun. Nothing like earth shattering, but it's clown to clown. So they're all going to be a hit. They're all going to be recessive visuals. Leopard orange dream to a leopard orange dream clown to a mahogany clown. So we'll see if we can get some cool mahogany combos. And I really at most would hold back one male and one female out of that clutch. So we got 7 eggs. We'll bust those open, I don't know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I expect to see pips in there. So that's what I got. Tonight is Portuguese pythons. That is the husband and wife duo of Renae and Danny Rocha. Full transparency, nothing held back. These are great people. They've really been a huge support to me. They've been advertisers for 2 years now, I think, coming up on 2 years. And some things I have to keep private. They're just private conversations between people, but they've really helped me out with breeding insights, breeding projects, ideas, fast forwarding me farther along than I thought I would be. And it's just a really great example of good people in the industry. And the animals obviously are amazing and important, but the people that I've met doing this show or trying to build this business, trying to build this brand with this platform of this show of kind of open communication and teaching and sharing, Danny and Renae have been amazing. They always reply when I send notes to them. We always, communicate well. I'm proud to represent their brand and I'm thankful for them. So there you go. There's the full disclosure. On top of that, they're fun. They're badass breeders. They've got amazing stuff. So please welcome back to the Proper Royal stage. It's been almost 2 years. Like there's a crime as well. Please welcome back to the Proper Royal stage, Portuguese pythons. Danny, Renae, how are y'all doing tonight?
Hi.
You make me cry over here.
I know. I'm a little emotional.
Is there anything more awkward than sitting there listening when you can't respond or make a face or anything to somebody else talking about you? Like it's the most awkward part of the show, but I mean every part of it, and you guys have been pretty special to me. So thank you very, very much. I appreciate all of that.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I hope, I genuinely hope there's a mutual benefit. And again, certain things can remain private, but I hope I'm not your charity case. And I certainly work hard for you guys. And I don't think that's the case. So I appreciate it. I'm flattered that you're still here, front and center on the logo up top. And there we go. I'm happy to have that for you. So how have things been? 2 years is a long time. And in our world, I don't know, that's like 10 trips around the sun in a normal person's world. I think it's kind of a crazy market, crazy world. How things for you?
Good. It doesn't feel like it's been 2 years, but
not at all.
July 2023. So 23 months.
That's crazy.
Isn't it? I looked it up last night when I was doing the show prep. I was like, well, I'm going to go rewatch the show. What did we talk about? I was like, oh my gosh, that's too long. So, all right. So some notes that I had put down. In 2023, you said that you thought you would get to about 30 clutches. Now you had planned on 50, but I guess there was a move and some of them had reabsorbed and that stuff. So 30 in 2023, what do you think that you'll get to this year or this round of breeding? Because I know that you probably roll into 2026 at the end of this year.
Well, right now we are sitting at 44 officially done, waiting on them to either pre-lay shed or give us eggs. And
Okay,
then
so but not laid, but like marked, hey, these are happening.
these, these are done.
Yeah.
Got it.
I think about 20 more. I think we counted the other day, total maybe 71. We'll see if any drop off between now and our next ultrasound.
Very nice. Very nice. Do you, did you put any thought into, like, hey, we should slow down or slim down production this year? Any of those kind of thoughts? Or is it full, hey, we're moving stuff. Life is good. Keep it going. We'll ride the ups and downs. Where do you fall in those thoughts?
We've been like slowly growing to this goal. I think that the last season we had like I guess less clutches because we moved, but we were okay with doing that because we knew that we had a lot more females that are going to be ready for this season that we're looking forward to. So I think we're going to, how would you say, like we slowly grew into it. So I guess we're going to see where our limit's at. I guess the season seems 70 is comfortable. I mean, we're set up for it. So that's the thing. We're going to see how it goes.
How bunched together are they? So like if somebody hasn't been breeding before and they say, all right, you're doing 70 clutches, you're going to average 6 a clutch, that's 420 hatchlings. Like how far spread out do you think those will be? And like how many hatchling spaces do you have? You don't keep all 400 on hand, do you?
No,
like spaces?
It'll be pretty spaced out. Majority of our females come in like clusters. So we started, I think our first clutch, a random one, was laid in January, right?
I think she was just an earlier.
Yeah. And then we had like 2 or 3, maybe like the next month. And then the next, I guess, 5 came within the next month. But
yeah,
probably this next month or 2 is going to be a little bit chaotic. And then when those babies come, it'll be, even more chaotic. But we're prepared for it. I mean, we have 4, how many spaces? 4 sea serpent hatchling racks.
Yeah. Plus the whole, plus
the whole, yeah. So we have the space, but.
Yeah. I always as I continue growing, I always think of that in my mind. And I'm like, I'm always thankful. Like my clutches, I think my first clutch started in March. And then I think my last one will be in December. So, as long as I've got 70 or 80 spaces, I'm good to go. But this year I'll probably flirt with around 40 clutches. And I'm like, if those start bunching up, I'm going to find myself in a little bit of a hot spot, So I don't know. I got to think about that. But then do you find that they start there's a breeder here in Minnesota that's been at it for, 30 years. He says all of his lay within 6 or 8 weeks of each other. And he likes it. He says, that's what I do. That's what I focus on for that period of time. And then I don't have to worry about it otherwise. And I'm like, that sounds like a nightmare, man. I like it spread out myself, but that's all I've ever gotten. Do you see yours bunching up or changing year to year?
The most we've had at one time was kind of 4 clutches hatching out at once, which kind of seemed like a lot. You didn't want to mix them up, but manageable.
Yeah.
I kind of like how it's spaced out because you can get those ones started and whatnot and start moving the older ones out while the newer ones are coming in.
Yeah. I was wondering if so a lot of my snakes came from Florida. So there was that seasonal timing, which is way different than Minnesota seasonal timing. And I bought a lot of animals since I've been up here. And then of course we're all shipping across the country all the time. Does that play into it, you think? Or is it, I don't know. Am I overthinking this, or they're just going to randomly do whatever they do?
I think so. I think it's going to change with the seasons too. Like if somebody, like you're saying, if let's say you bought a proven breeder from Minnesota or from Florida, you took it to California, I'm sure it's going to be off, right?
Yeah.
The season's going to be off, or I mean, maybe something from Florida might be a lot closer than it would from Minnesota.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's nothing I can change. So I just roll with it. Say I like it spread out, but I'm trying to, he actually scared me when he was like, yeah, he's probably making 50 clutches. He's like, yeah, all of mine lay within 6 or 8 weeks of each other. I'm like, oh no, that sounds horrible, man.
But I'm sure if you play with the temperatures more, you might be able to get a tighter season.
That's true. And maybe he does. I don't know. That's true. Yeah, I just keep mine. I don't. Do you do the temperature drops or anything, or you just let seasonality handle it?
Yeah, well, the room naturally like gets warmer during the summer and
Of
stays a
course.
little cooler, so it naturally does it. So you'll see like the girls kind of follow that too. Like as it gets like cool, like warmer, you'll start to see that they'll change with it, and when it
Yeah.
gets cooler.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a couple degrees. Like even no matter how tight I try and keep it, especially here in Minnesota, like it's gonna drop some in the winter and drop some and warm up some in the summer. But anyhow, it's kind of stuff that I probably obsess over for no good reason other than it just interests me. And I'm like, I'm always thinking about scaling and future volume and what I can handle and efficiencies. And it's like, man, if that happens, that's gonna be a problem for a month or two in my life, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think all you could do is prepare, right? Like even like I say, we're gonna do the 70 clutches. We might get there and say like, hey, this is way too much work, and we'll scale back a little bit. But I mean, you won't know until you do it. But just got to make sure you got prepared. Like either you got enough rodents to do all that too. Like you can't just have all these clutches and not have like the rodent supply behind it either.
Yeah, that's a big thing. We talked on the phone some before. How's your rodent production going? What are you finding that's working for you? I know in California there's certain things that we don't talk about or that can't be had or whatever, but hypothetically, what's working well, what's not?
We feed mainly rats, but I'll give them whatever they want. I mean, if they want to eat mice, they'll eat mice. All my males are just on mice. Just
really?
They find it easier. Yeah, they. I mean, if I want to, like last week, I didn't have enough mice, so I just fed them like a rat pup or like a small wean, and they'll take it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Why? So you're breeding mice and rats?
Yeah.
I just here I can have soft furs. Soft furs are the only thing that I breed here, but I've got the line for frozen rats, which is what I feed most of my breeder females. But you mentioned, switching off. It drives me nuts at shows when people are like, "Oh, I don't want this to get hooked on this," and I'm like, it's like so slim. Like it's less than 5% of the problem, I think. And so like my breeder females, when they hit maybe 15 millimeters or so, it's all you can eat buffet on ASFs, man. If they want 4 in a feeding, they get 4 in a feed. Like it's as much as they want. And then after they lay, I'll switch them back over to a frozen thawed rat again. So do you guys change up any, or is it just a matter of what you have available, what you can get your hands on?
They mainly just eat rats unless there's one specifically doesn't want like rats. I'll just feed them mice or anything else that I got, and I'll just feed them that.
Yeah, I gotcha. And was there any specific reason that you do mostly mice for your males? Is it to keep them, I don't want to use the expression keep them small, but because it's perfectly size appropriate to feed them a mouse, but or is it because the feeding response is so strong that they go off food less?
Yeah, but I'll feed it like if they want 2 or 3, I'll still feed them 2 or 3. Like
yeah,
I don't know. I just find they just feed better on them, and I feel like they feed more consistent on them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but that could just be me thinking that, but I don't know. I just find it better. Just the mice I don't know. They feed better for me.
Between just the smell of mice, I'm just like, I don't even want to deal with it. Like,
I mean, if you want to do ASFs, it's the same thing. Mice, ASFs,
Yeah, well, and that's what I do. Like I say, I do all ASFs, and if there's somebody that skips a meal on frozen, the next week I throw them an ASF, and then I'll go back to frozen. Like, and to your point, they're going to eat it, and they go back on the food pretty well.
Yeah, but I mean, I like when they're when they're not breeding or anytime they want to eat, I just feed them. So like they want to get as big as they want to get before breeding season, I just feed them because I know they're going to go off food. That way, I don't have to stress out about it.
Yeah, the males or the females?
Males.
Yeah, the males. Okay. I don't know. A lot of mine, knock on wood, I've been pretty good about, I haven't had too much of eating issues with most of my males this year. So I don't like it when it happens, but I know it's part of it, but I don't like it. I'm just like, you got to eat, man. Stressful. You got to eat. What's that?
I said it gets stressful.
I know. Especially like, they're all special because they're all animals and they're live animals and they're important, but there's certain things that you've worked towards or that you finally have accomplished. And you're just like, not you, not that. No, you're like,
it's always that one. Always.
I know it is. I know, man. I know. And I'm like, okay. So, so how many, how much do you push your males, or what's the like the rotation that you go for on your males?
Oh, I don't there's like a, you're talking about
like female to male ratio.
Yeah, like or where do you max out? Like your favorite one this year? Like where do you like go? Where's like, all right, that's just gonna be, I'm gonna have to cap that out.
I think
it depends on there's a lot of factors. Right? It depends on age, right? And it depends on his size. So an older male, older male, you're going to be able to stretch them out a little bit longer. Like a younger male, you're worried about it's not eating consistently. You know, you might be a little spare. You know, you're not.
Yeah.
You're gonna pick and choose where you're gonna breed them at. So I think that makes a big difference too on how you use them. So and that depends how many females you could put into too.
Let me ask you this on the, you know, we could see especially the established females, the ones year over year, like we kind of know when to expect that they're going to build. Do you, say that you're maxing out the male at 3 or 4 females at a time, but what about the length of the year? Like say you know that you've got 12 females, but they're spread out over 9 months when they're going to lay. And I'm just throwing out numbers off the top of my head. Do you take into consideration the length of time as long as they're eating, or is there just a certain number that you pair to and then you're like, that's it?
I think length of time.
Yeah, but I think that's something that sometimes we don't think about too. And I think that's a lot of things. Like when you breed consistently a majority of the year, you don't think about that male doesn't have enough time to rebound too.
Right.
A lot of times these males are just not fully rebounded. A lot of times you have to sit them out for the season too.
Yeah, I did. Actually, Keith is in the audience. I did a breeding project with him, and the very last female that went from his male, my biggest girl in the collection, she laid like 13 eggs. Half of them were slugs. Most of them didn't have veins, and then there were 2 that had veins, and only one of those survived. Like, and I'm like, it was the last female. I was like, I wonder if that male got work. Like, I wonder if that's on the male, not the female. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, to top it off, it was a male double het that popped out. No codoms, no visual, no nothing. Just total, like, everything, just nothing, no good. So he's available if anybody wants that male. Make you a good deal on him.
But we know what we did this season too is we had like these younger males that we really wanted to get in. So we used the backup male, like kind of till the very end. And then we kind of put him in at the last lock to see, you know, to kind of save the younger male that that really wasn't going in the beginning of the season. So we had to put the backup in.
Right.
And so you only really use them for one lock here or there, depending on, what other girls he has too. So we kind of been trying that and seeing how that goes. We had one year where we did that at the end. We actually split the clutch with the 2 males.
Well, I was going to ask, like, this is really hard to quantify, I'm sure. And like, nobody would set out to study this. I don't think it would be just heartbreak or just a crazy thing to study. But do you find the last lock gets the clutch more often?
Well, we only did it for the one time last year.
I think, just the one.
So we'll see. We'll see this season what happens.
I'm intrigued. I'd be interested to hear what some people that have been at it for a long time at a high volume, if they do that. I don't know. That would be maddening though. Be like, oh, which one? I like knowing what I'm dealing with. I don't like surprises.
Yeah, but like let's say you had a visual het male, right? And you've been using him, and then you have a double visual male with a codom or 2, and like now he's breeding. Like,
right.
That's when you put him in and try to get the clutch, but and then if he doesn't hit, then you still have all your animals, you still have the animals going the right way in the project.
Right. And that circumstance I get, and I actually do that. I have, orange stream leopard clown, and then I have an orange stream leopard red stripe that was like, he wasn't ready at the beginning of the season, but now he's ready. I'm like, well, that other guy's gone. Or the super gravel clown I just picked up. Well, sorry, super gravel, you're retired. You're on the bench now. You're good. Like, so like circumstantially I get that, but as like a plan or as a process, I wonder if that's ever been studied or not.
Yeah, I think there's people that do like a fluffer male in the beginning of the season too, and then use like the male after. And I think we kind of did that with we used some of like the older males for some females. Like they're still aligned with the project, right? But we use them, and then to get some of these females, either getting them eating or kind of getting them like going, and it works sometimes too.
Yeah,
You get the right male you want in there after, but you still got to be cautious if you make sure you mark everything down, like, and know what male you put in there, and if you have to shed test later on, you got to shed test.
Yeah. yeah, once you put them in there, you're in bed with it. Like that's
right. Yeah.
Yeah. No take backs on that. There's another breeder here locally, Joe at JSA. He swears he likes to just do 1 to 2 locks, man. And he doesn't even use ultrasound. I'm like, come on, man. Like that's
wild.
And I mean, the stuff Joe produces too. I mean,
Yeah.
he's crushing it, and he's like, yeah, just one or two. That's what it takes. I'm like,
wow.
he is. It's incredible it's incredible what you can learn from like just time and repeated. Sorry, we're having I don't know if you heard, I don't know if you in the audience could hear any of what went on. That is, I'll be cleaning a tub tomorrow. Let's just put it that way.
A snake?
Yeah, that was a snake. I
thought you had the dog in the room.
I thought it was I thought my freezer was like the condenser or something. I don't know, like whatever it is when the freezer kicks on. I was like, that doesn't sound good. And that's a snake. Oh my God. All right. Well, yeah. Now that was the fly killer. So, all right. Well, talk about what you guys are producing. And I know that you're producing a whole lot, so I don't expect you to go through like every pairing, but like, is the mindset still, we had talked a lot, both on the phone, but I think on the last show too, of, double hets with codoms. You were talking about taking a longer path, making the hets and the double hets, or maybe now these days the triple hets along the way. Is it still that sort of same plan? Has there been aha moments that have changed your outlook? Where's your head at these days?
Go ahead.
So this year what we did is we had a lot, like with the Ultramel project, there's been a lot of like, we've already made our doubles and some triples we wanted. So this year we really want to make it like simple. We really want to make some really nice looking Ultramel combos, like 2-3 codoms, the Leela combos that look good, like haven't been made yet. Like a lot of people are like, oh, there's a lot of stuff in Ultramel. Like there's not, like there's the same genes out there. Like, so there's a lot of stuff out there that needs to be made. So like, not to put 5, 6, 7 genes into them, like 3, 4 genes, and like just real simple. Cause like sometimes 3 or 4 genes in Ultramel look, I mean, it looks better than some of these $6,000-$7,000 animals that, that just doesn't look as good, right? Not just Ultramel. There's a lot of really good animals in specific projects. I'm just talking Ultramel because that's what I'm talking about. Right.
I think that I've been hearing that theme, like in the market, it's almost like first the prohibitive pricing, like there's just not as many of those buyers out there. So like that's a very niche audience to reach whoever's going to pay, $4,000 and up for animals, but also just the, like, it's like way better than the grandma test, but it has to look amazing. Like if it looks amazing, like ultimately that's going to be undefeated, I think. And that's neat that you made a conscious decision on that to back off. So you're saying you decided to back off some of the double and triple tracing at the moment?
No, not necessarily.
No?
We still have like our Ultramel Clown project going, Ultramel Pied project going, Ultramel Puzzle. I think that's it. But with some of our other females that have like more codoms, we are, I guess we're trying to replicate this one, like a blackhead Enchi leopard Ultramel, like is so beautiful. And the amount of times I could have sold her, but I wouldn't, I'm like, well, people like this and it looks beautiful. So we're kind of focusing on, putting some really nice codoms together. Like you said, allelic combos, just getting a little bit more, I guess, combos in Ultramel within the United States. Because I've seen quite a bit in Europe on Morph Market and whatnot. And we don't really have a lot of different genes added here that I've seen on Morph Market per se. But we're still working the recessive projects as far as Ultramel. Both doubles, not triple so much. No, not triple. So just like Ultramel Pied, Ultramel Clown, Ultramel Puzzle. What else? I think that's it for that.
Just make some really good looking snakes. I mean, they're not hard to sell if they look really good. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, just don't chase these projects. Like, we're just making stuff that we like. And I mean, most of the stuff, like if it's a female, I'm gonna end up keeping it anyway. So it's like, unless I have 2 of them, so it's like, I'm gonna make it for myself first. Like, so if I like it, I'm sure somebody else is gonna like it.
Right.
Hopefully, yeah.
You guys were like really helpful to me in thinking through, like, I mean, to your point right now, there's a lot that's been done with Ultramel as far as like, sort of like, I don't know, recessive reach, but then as far as the gene selection that's available out there, there's not that much that's been done with that. And we talked a lot. I remember a phone conversation one day, maybe, I don't know how long ago it was. Time kind of flies by, but you guys were just talking about, hey, okay, what happens? You get there to a double or a triple, but you have nothing more to work with. So you can either recreate the same thing over and over while everybody else is, and the market's getting watered down, or you can start early getting the genes in and maybe take another season or two, but then have something that nobody else has and literally can't catch you within 5 years kind of deal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still a lot of work to make these triples and these doubles. So I'm not taking away from that, but it's just, I want to have something in there when I get there, you know?
And something that looks different than what everybody else has already made.
Right.
But once you get the double and the triple, it's not that hard to make them after that, though.
Yeah.
So, So, I mean, I would actually argue it's easier to make those than, I mean, obviously it's easier to make those without the codon. We know that.
After you make it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyhow, I always thought that was a cool insight. And you guys have, like, you're focusing on allelic now, but I know you have a lot of super stuff as well, too. The super dark genes.
Well, we have a super blackhead female. She won't be ready to go this season, but we do have a couple pairings lined up to hopefully make some more super blackhead stuff. Right?
Well,
what else?
Well, maybe you have one less, because I've got a super blackhead ultramel from you guys. He's been doing work this season, so he'll
we kept his sister.
Okay, cool. Oh, I got you. That's the sister that you were talking about. Yeah. I guess she wouldn't be ready yet. He's one of those right on that borderline that I think he's only going to maybe 2 females. Like I just got to watch him this first year.
That's good.
Yeah. So we'll see what. Well, I was going to say we'll see what comes out, but we know what should come out will be blackheads and and ultramels.
Yeah.
Any new genes that have like got you going, or that you're like, oh man, that's something we want? Like, one of my favorite questions: what's the last animal that you purchased and invested in?
Oh, easy. The Cypress Ultramel Clown.
Oh, nice. I did not see that. I don't think that's got to be nice and bright, huh?
Oh my God, he's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's just glow.
Yes.
Yeah. Who made that one, if I can ask?
Miguel.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, you're not going to go wrong there. That's.
We hatched out a couple Cypress Ultramel, just a Cypress Ultramel and a chocolate Cypress Ultramel, and then like maybe a couple months later he posted that, and I messaged Dan, or I texted Danny because he was at work. I'm like, I want this. He's like, we don't need it. I'm like, I want this. So I really like how Cypress looks with Ultramel. So that's kind of like a new addition for us.
Yeah.
You guys have been doing cool stuff with, I don't know, I'll mix up which one it is, but some Bell complex genes in Ultramel. And like the result is really, really cool. But I feel like the risk it's not quite like the pastel label, but a lot of people avoid or have avoided those genes like crazy in the past. Was that something you had seen and you were like inspired to recreate, or was it just something that you were like, well, it's in the mix, I got to go, we'll see what happens? Or how did that come about?
I think at first we were like, not really huge fans of like Mojave or Lesser into the Ultramel, but like as we started seeing like combinations with multiple codons in it, we're like, oh, this is actually kind of cool. And we really like the dark side of Ultramel. And then seeing those combinations that we produce, or saw on Morph Market or Instagram or whatever, it's like, okay, let's try this out and see how we can make it different or better, or just make it our own.
But you mean like Bell genes overall in Ultramel, or like just overall in your collection?
Oh,
well, I guess both, but Ultramel specifically.
So I'll tell you what, in the beginning I was not a fan of any like light genes in Ultramel. Like I did not want any light genes. I wanted everything dark. And then like I seen like what Marshall Mendez.
I'm not familiar. I don't know. Yeah.
Red Mountain Herbs.
Okay.
But he's with that stuff with the red stripe. Like you start seeing like all these like lighter like genes in it, and then you start seeing the colors, and with the Cypress, and I was like, okay, that's where you get all these oranges from and all these other colors from. So like I think it really starts to bring some more contrast, and then you can work both sides of it too.
Yeah, and when you say, what do you mean by work both sides of it? Darkening and lightening, or what did you mean?
Yeah, like if you want to just do just all like dark genes, or you just get that just like, I don't know what color you want to call it, just that dark purpley, and then the yellows, or you can do where you get like the pinks and oranges and like lavender colors, yellows.
Yeah. Those, well, like I said, the ones, and I can't remember the specific combos, but the ones that I'd seen with the Bell Complex jeans, they would just like glow. Like they look like neon lights, man. I was amazed at how they looked. So, but it occurred to me, I was like, yeah, that's the stuff that everybody was like, yeah, get that out of your collection. You don't want to have that in there.
Right. And I was one of those too. But then you start to see some of these combos and I was like, oh, okay, it looks really good.
So has anybody, and I'm sure you wouldn't purposefully do this, but has anybody, like, what happens with an Ultramel Bell? Do we know?
I think it's just got the I think the eyes, right? You can tell by the eyes.
Just the redder eyes.
Yeah, I believe so.
But it's still
on the other day, more
still white.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still all white. You're not getting any cool breakthrough.
No, not that I've seen. No.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool if it was like just this all peach snake. That'd be neat. Yeah. But
you might get a little, maybe you get like that shadow of a pattern or something on that. Some bells kind of like you see that depending on how many jeans are in there.
Definitely. Yeah. And like the, what is it? The Super Mojaves that get kind of that purplish hue to them, Yeah. I guess you could. Yeah. I don't know. I have the Mystic Potion. Like I say, I'm not going to be the guy that does that, but I don't.
Don't we?
For what?
That one of the Mojaves to the Mojave, the double head to the double head. Didn't we do one pairing?
No.
Oh, okay, something else. Just kidding.
So yeah, like I said, I'm not going to be the guy to chase it down, and not because I'm not curious, but it's just like we talked about the time that's involved and everything. So, oh, look at this! You got the compatriot there. John is he's from Azores actually. He's in the Patreon as well, so I know John pretty well. I will not massacre the authentic pronunciation of his first name, so I can't. I know how it's spelled, but we won't dive into that. But John's a good guy. Sorry. So what jeans got you going? Like, is there anything like super exciting on the horizon that you're just like, man, I gotta try this, or you haven't seen it in your in the works before, or like there had to be something in the past couple of years that you were just like, oh man, all right, that's what I'm going to go look after.
I don't know if it's a specific one, but like I think it's just like working the Elite combo, so it's like the two together, right? So you kind of consider that one, so you get that look together. So like chocolate, cypress, blackhead. What's another one?
The Inchy black pastel that we did, right?
Yeah, and then even simple as black pastel Inchy too. I mean, I know that sounds just real simple, but I mean that, and you can, you can have that, and you can have blackhead, and cypress. So that's two. So it's a double super, right?
Is blackhead and cypress allelic?
Blackhead and Inchy, right?
Okay.
So there's a lot of ways to do it too.
I got to study up on those. Like I have a lot of those in my collection, and I don't remember all of the allelic combos. It's I know some, but not all of them, especially in that complex. So blackhead is in that same cinnamon Inchy.
No. So blackhead is in the spider complex, right? So there's blackhead, bongo, spider. I think hidden gene walnut, chocolate. I say cypress already. Right.
Maybe.
I'm sure I'm missing something. But yeah, those are all spot nose. Spot nose,
yeah. But then, okay, so weren't you just talking about blackhead and Inchy?
Well, I'm just saying if you were to like, you're asking like what like new jeans. It was not really new jeans, just working like allelic combos together as like, I guess if you want to call that a gene, right? So like you could work blackhead and cypress and blackhead and Inchy and black pastel together to make it a double super.
Right, I gotcha. Yeah, because those are first they're cool looking and they help each other, but then there's just even more super powerful breeders after that as well.
Right. So if you have a female or a male, like that you can keep that around for a long time, right? And if it's head, if it's head or double head something else, like that could last a long time,
Yeah. That's a good point. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to follow these in my head. I have nine different questions, nine different directions on that. So if you had the thing with the allelic combos and the same with supers is unless you breed them to the same things, you can't reproduce them though, right?
No, you can only pass on one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a limitation to it too.
Right. Yeah. There was somebody I was talking to locally here. By the way, Ryan, thank you very much for the tips. I found what's amazing, and thank you, audience. I got rid of the ads on YouTube, and people like step up with the super chats, and like, it wasn't like YouTube was paying me much money anyway. Like, there's been no drop off in income since I turned off the ads. So guys, thank you very, very much. I'm really appreciative of that. You know, because I was talking to somebody here locally who's stacking with like supers to hold back, and they're like, I'll always know what's going to happen. And I'm like, no, that's just for the first generation, because you can't reproduce those, right?
Yeah, you can't, unless you have it on the other side. Unless you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless you have, like, you're bred it to a blackhead or a Cypress, then you could produce a super again. If if you just had one on the other side.
Yeah. But then, and I fully understand the concept of supers and allelics. I get that. But I was trying to say to the person, because they're like, no, you could always know what was coming if you had a super to a super. And I'm like, yeah, but then you can't ever add anything new into it.
Right, unless you had a super with something else on it, like
yeah,
another
on top of it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm saying it could be limited. You can kind of almost back yourself into a corner if you don't like kind of see how you're doing it, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, at some point you got to take the chances and roll the dice on adding new genes, just like we do with adding hets. Like, we know that the hets will be there, but you got to take that generation and get them to advance.
Right.
I think you're throwing me off by calling it a super.
Well, yeah.
Well, it acts like a super, but I think when you say that, it's throwing me off. But I think you're making sense.
Could you imagine somebody who's just like, ball pythons would be fun. Let me see what this show's about. And they're like, these people are insane. Screw that animal. Yeah, we're gone. We're out of here. On breeding, do you guys take into account at, like, I wouldn't say any market forces, because we're all living the market forces, so you always have to take those into account. But like for example, bananas. Are you ever like, hey, let's make 30 bananas this year to have at the show? We're going to meet new people. They might be pet sales, but they're people that will grow into what more of the stuff we do later. Or is it totally like your projects, your what you like, what your passion is, what you're after? Or is there an overlap? I don't know.
I think there is an overlap. I mean, obviously we make what we like. Some of the pairings we make what we like, and the byproduct is like pieds or
sure.
I think we had a pairing was like a banana het clown to a clown, and that really wasn't for us. We wouldn't have mind holding something back from it, but we know bananas sell at shows, so like we have that, like albino pieds. Though we don't keep those, like that's like we breed those specifically for cool. Show sales or whatnot. So we do a little bit of both, but I think this year we really shot for breeding for us, and then the byproduct being like the pieds to sell at shows and whatnot. That makes sense.
Honestly, I'm not just trying to agree with everything, but that's where I keep landing. Like, the byproducts will like I do like banana, so I breed a lot of banana anyway. I'm not breeding just regular bananas with, 1 or 2 codoms, or that's not my goal. But if I end up with those, they're going to move, and anything better than that, I'm either going to be interested in keeping, or, I can ask more for it. So I've always just sort of found that, but I try and watch it though a little bit, because I've heard a lot of my friends and colleagues that are just saying, I have all these animals, they're crazy killer breeder ingredients, and they're just not selling, and just people aren't into it anymore that way. And I'm like, but maybe that goes back to the codom conversation of getting them in early, so that there's always some like intrinsic visual value,
Yeah.
I think more investment stuff's hard to sell at the shows. Like, it's certain stuff, like if you have somebody there looking, or if you have what's hot at the time, you're going to sell it no matter what. That's easy to sell, right?
That's
like,
true.
It's hot at the time, right? Sorry, there's a little one of those gnats right here.
That's okay. Yeah.
This thing's driving me crazy. Damn, I lost my train of thought.
What sells it? Investment doesn't.
Oh yeah, and
that's personally.
Yeah, I mean, some stuff will sell, some other breeders and stuff, but you got to have stuff that, especially if you're going to like a show that's based around like more pet stuff, and you got to have stuff that people are going to buy too. Like, and you got to be like mindful of your byproduct. A lot of people are like, I'm just going to sell my byproduct. And like, have you looked at your byproduct? Like, I don't think anybody wants to buy your byproduct, so like, You can't just say like, oh, I'm gonna sell my byproduct, because like you're gonna have a hard time if nobody wants it.
Right. That's really where my thought is these days, because it used to be when I first started, which was not long ago. I'm not at this, it was 5 years, but you could sell almost anything. And so you would try and shoot for the biggest, craziest thing you could possibly sell, because somebody would buy that. And then the other stuff would get scooped up. And now it's almost like I wouldn't say it's the opposite, but like, it's almost like, where's the bottom? You have to make sure that you're above that bottom. Like there's got to be, going back to what we were saying, if there can be a super in the mix, or if you can be putting a visual to a het versus hets to hets, because you're going to end up with stuff that just sits. And I remember in the wine industry, I'd have these guys, these wine reps come in, and they would bring this amazing wine from this new producer that nobody had ever heard of. And I was like, I'm going to spend 30 minutes at a table trying to sell one glass of this stuff, when off the menu, I could sell 10 glasses of the other stuff. It's great. It's amazing. It's still not worth my time. I can't give up that much of my time. So that seems to be like where my head's at these days.
Yeah, I think there's still, when we do pairings too, like we're still very mindful of like what like the byproduct's going to be. Like there's pairings that we're doing just because they're specific animals we want, and like if we don't hit what we want, we will like, there's everything in there is not like it's going to be like wholesale stuff, right? But like there's other projects where it's just like, well, we might pair it this way because like the byproduct's not that bad. We're still getting what we want, right? Like you're not shooting for the moon on every single project. I think when you do and you're expecting a return on stuff, you're gonna have a hard time, right? That's where people I get disappointed, right? Because then like they shoot for the moon on every project. They're relying on making money back, and they're like, well, nobody's buying it. Well, yeah, because like the product that you have or the animals aren't what people want, They're all like wholesale animals.
Yeah. It's almost like the mirror image of the odds. We know like the very best thing you could possibly hit, there's the mirror image odds wise of the very worst thing that you could hit. And they're the even odds. And it's like the higher you shoot for, the more you have to remember on the other side as well, and what you're going to do with those.
Yeah. I don't think a lot of people look at, like you're saying, like the worst odds, like, cause that, like when you look at the worst odds, sometimes you're like, I don't know if I really want to make that pairing. Cause like, I don't need that animal that bad. Right. Like maybe I'll wait till next year where I'm going to have a better female or male, and I'll have better odds, and I'll just have, wait till then, like, and put this female to something better that I'm going to want to hold back this year. Right.
Right.
What's the rush?
Yeah. And I think, and obviously Charlie is massively helpful and important to the industry.
Yeah,
he's important. It helps, but the animals still exist. Like
True.
The odds are on a case-by-case basis. Sure, there might be some amazing results and things that defeat the odds, but over a big sample size, the odds are undefeated. That's why they're the odds. So like the animals are still going to be there. So yeah, I'm working through this as I'm talking out loud. I'm like, this is an aha moment for me. Like what's the worst I'm willing to deal with? Because they're just, even, I don't know about your experience right now, but like you say, the buyers are really selective. People are really watching their money. I understand that, and I get it. And I think it's on us to produce like really good stuff that people want to see. And maybe a triple het to a triple het isn't the right way to go about these things. Cause no matter how much shed testing you do, you're still going to have the animals that miss because they're getting created. Yeah.
Yeah. I
don't know what you're saying.
I was going to be really impressed when you were like, what was I going to say? And she was like, wow, this is, I was like, yes, that is fantastic.
Go ahead. I forgot.
I don't know what you were going to say.
It's so like, because in your head, you're thinking about everything, and then you're like, you forget it. But
that's what I'm saying.
I'll remember it after like 3 hours later. I'll be like, oh, now I remember.
Yeah, I remember what I was going to say to him. Yeah. So, but that goes back to some of the, like I say, that conversation we had on the phone one day when we were talking through like what happens when you hit the doubles or the triples, but there's not the other pieces in it, is really when I'm thinking of, all right, here's some long odds. I'll forego the long odds to get the guaranteed codoms in it, even if it's another season or two, just because I have higher odds of hitting cool stuff that's pretty cool versus like the cool thing,
So I just remembered right now.
Okay.
So there's the thing. A lot of people don't want to buy hets anymore. I think that's the thing. Like, and if they do buy hets, it's got to be like worth it. And I don't blame them either. Like, there's the odds you're fighting against, right? So people want better animals. So if you're just producing like clutches just to make hets for sale, like it's really hard to sell them unless it's like I said, something that's super hot or it's got these codoms that you can't find anywhere, right?
Yeah. Do you find, or maybe you don't want to give away strategies on? Do you find it easier if something's a het just to list what's known or visual and not even bring it? I mean, forget genes like caramel or whatever that have breeding problems. Like we would want to let somebody know about that. But like, for example, if I've got that normal double het male, I'm not going to explain to somebody what all the, like, they're going to walk away before I get through explaining what that means. I mean, I just listed as a normal, but like, do you have, say you're working on a clown pied project and you hit a cool clown that's it's a mediocre clown, but it's het pie. I don't know, just something along those lines. You find it just easier just to list it what it is, or I don't know, any experience in that area?
We did that, I think was last year. We had like a double het lavender pied clutch or something, or pied het lav, and I think we just left off like the lavender part because some people didn't understand. Like it was more shows. I don't think we really did it at like Morph Market. I think on Morph Market because we listed pairing, we put everything. But for shows, like the pet people don't care. Like
Right.
obviously, like if someone's like, oh yeah, would this be good to breed? We're like, oh hey, it's also het Ultramel or whatever. Like, oh okay, cool. So.
Yeah, we'll tell them after every time, but I don't know if it's almost a deterrent sometimes, right? Because they see all this on there and they're just looking for a pet and they're like, what is all this? And then you start explaining to them and then they get that glaze over their face and you're like, oh, I just lost. Like they just want to talk about the snake, right? So it's just like, sometimes it's easier just to sell it as a pied, right?
Well, and that's kind of my point. And I think that I'll say me, but I'll say us as an industry, like, we can make people feel dumb over trying to educate too much when I think we forget to just keep it simple. And that happens. And like, you could walk into a guitar shop and be like, man, I just want to play 4 chords. And the guy's like, well, it's this wood and this stainless steel frets and this frequency. And you're like, never, I'm good. Because you're going to feel dumb trying to keep up with the conversation because you don't understand any of it. Not you personally, but the person might not. And so like, I'm guilty of it. And I catch myself at shows wanting to be like, yeah, but here's why it's even cooler. And I'm like,
you get so excited. Yeah. And then next thing you know, they're like, oh, we're going to walk here. And you're like, oh, like they just want to pet. Like they just want to talk about it. Like, what do I feed it? And like, what do I keep it in? Like, you're talking all this genetics, all this crazy stuff. And you're like, oh,
it just needed to be like, that's an amazing animal. How can I help you take care of it and make this your, it's too much. And I find myself doing that sometimes. So like one of the things in my mind, and especially as I dabble in trying to reach, new horizons of doubles or triples, there's going to be those byproducts. And I'm like you want to tell people so much, but sometimes you just got to let them enjoy it as it is for what it is, which really is probably how we all got started in this, just going, damn, that looks cool.
That's cool.
What's that cost? Yeah. What's that cost? Okay, cool. I either I got the money or I don't. It's cool. So I think about that a lot. That's something that another, same example of my career with wine. Like how many people are like, no, I don't want to go to a wine tasting. I'm going to feel like an idiot talking to these people. Like I just want to drink and it tastes good and I catch a little buzz, So yeah, it can all be, it can all be too confusing. Speaking of, how's the show scene there in the recent past been?
Good. I mean, lately we've just been doing super shows. We just haven't had enough animals to be able to make it worth doing the smaller shows locally.
Right.
So we've just been doing all the super shows. So just Anaheim and Pomona. But next season, this season we'll probably, with so many animals, we're going to need to do shows, more shows. Well, but it's going to make it worth it. You gotta really look at the show and see what you got and look at how far it is. And I don't think people calculate all that before they go do a show.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have it on my notes to jump in on that, but yeah, you're exactly right. Like the hotel, the time away from home, you guys have kids. Right. If I feel bad. I don't think about it. I figure when I'm gone, Kelly's just got the day off. Well, she's got the 3 dogs, our son, and it's her one day off of work. She's like, yeah, that's nice of you. And I'm like, well, I'm working. She's like, well, and I'm like, you know what I mean? So, I mean, there's all those considerations, but yeah, it's really easy. I love the local shows, and I would do them every weekend locally just to build a customer base in a big metro area like we have in Minneapolis. But when you start talking hotels or time out on the road or the winter time, man, traveling 3-4 hours after you've been vending 11 hours in the dark, man, that's not safe. And with the cold temps with the snakes, no, it's just not. So yeah, that's a lot to think about. Where are you selling? So if you're only doing like the super shows, where are you selling, or where are you getting most of your sales from? Morph Market, Instagram, word of mouth? With like, do you keep like customer lists of who's into what works for you?
Mostly Morph Market.
Yeah.
Some few here and there on Instagram, but majority through Morph Market. No more Craigslist.
No, okay, yeah. Well, we've graduated. I looked back in my notes from the last show, and it's like Chick-fil-A parking lot deals. I was like, no, we're done with that. I'm not bringing. I wasn't going to bring that up tonight. You did though. So
you got to start somewhere. Don't be ashamed. Everybody thinks that you got to start. Like, you got to start. It's okay to only have 4 or 5 snakes. Like, you know what I mean? Everybody wants to have like a big old rack, and like, just take your time. There's no rush.
Well, yeah, and that goes to like a little bit of what we were just saying at the shows. It's the same mindset. Like, you don't have to have everything. Doesn't have to be overwhelming. It doesn't have to be a job. You don't have to have a podcast on Tuesday nights for years. Like, you don't have to do all that stuff to really enjoy it. And I had to have told the story, but there was the Chick-fil-A time, but there was the Dollar General time when the deal was going down. The Dollar General was getting robbed, and I didn't know that. And like, the bandits came running out. Wow, me and and they're like looking at us, what we're doing with 2 snakes in the front. Because I had parked right at the front door because I knew the camera was right there. So I'm like, well, if somebody's going to rob me, at least they'll be on camera, you know? And these robbers are coming out, and they had stolen like shovels and trash cans. I don't know. It's a dumb stuff to steal, you know, and they're looking at us with snakes. And here comes the cashier. Stop these sons of she threw a shopping cart at them to try and get them to stop. So anyway, those days are behind me, but they were fun. Like, you can find good stuff out there.
Yeah.
It was a female Candino. I still have that girl. She's in the rack. I still have that one.
Forever memories.
Yeah, I've told the story enough. When I sell her, I'll be like, that's the Dollar General robbery. Like, I bet I could get like an extra $50 for her just from the story. You know what I mean? People be like, oh yeah, I want that one. That's the one that I want.
Yeah.
All right, let me take a break. Let me pay some bills. When I come back, I want to talk about how you guys balance family, being obviously married and have the business together, relationships in the industry, all that cool stuff. We'll get into that stuff in just a second. Guys, if you haven't checked out Redline Shipping, please do. For me, the differentiation is the support before, during, and after the shipment. They're going to help you get your animal where it needs to go. They've got decades of experience working with FedEx and getting animals delivered safely. I have to say, I can't commit to this. This isn't anything that Redline has communicated to me. But I bought 2 labels today, and I was pleasantly impressed with the pricing. I was like, I feel like something's changed. So I don't know. Check it out. Go price it out. Go experience the customer support, and especially if you need equipment or insight. We're getting into hot shipping season, temperature-wise hot. So anyhow, be safe with the animals. Check out Redline Shipping. Use a promo code PROPER5. Get yourself $5 off your next shipping label. We mentioned him a little bit earlier, Charlie at shedtesting.com. I feel like I missed the boat. Like, there's 2 players in the industry, and they're killing it, man. I love it. I love Charlie's story. He figured it out. He is developing, researching, and creating his own genetic tests for new genes. Genes that are active right now are Lace, Monarch, and Hurricane. And I believe that the Monsoon has been announced that is it available? Do you know, Renae? I should have done my show prep.
Monsoon is.
It's out. Yeah, it's out. I saw the thumbnail, but I was like, does that mean that they're about to release it? Monsoon is out as well. So go check that out. There's over 32 ball python genes that you can get tested using shed samples. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you take the shed of your animal and you go to Charlie's website, shedtesting.com. You select the gene that you want to test it for. You pay him a nominal fee, and then he tests your animal and he tells you if it indeed has that gene or not. VPI, Xanthic, Wookie, Sunset, Clown, Puzzle, Ultramel Zebra, lots more, Yellow Belly Complex. And like I say, Lace, Monarch, Hurricane, and Monsoon are live now on that. Reagan Renae, Royal Pythons. That's Charlie Ryan. He's over in, I believe it's Cherry Hill, but he's in New Jersey for sure. Charlie is professionally trained scientist. He keeps his lab protocols in his home. I've seen how he handles his animals and he tracks data. It's incredible. Kryptons, DG, G-Stripe, Candy Pied, Clowns, single, double, and triple ingredients. Go check out Charlie. He's also the defending undefeated 15 minutes of lame champion currently. So Reagan Renae, Royal Pythons. How about this? I get to cut a promo on you guys too while you're sitting here. We got Portuguese Pythons front and center. That's Danny and Renae Rocha out in Chino, California. Go check them out. You've heard us talk tonight about singles, doubles, triples. You heard us talk about Ultramel dark jeans, Ultramel brightening jeans now. Sounds like there will be Cypress Ultramel in the very near future. Let me check my absolute notes. Ultramel in Puzzle, Ultramel in Clown, Ultramel in Pied. Hypo Ghost projects, True Ghost projects as well. Go check out their Morph Market. There's a reason they sell a lot of snakes on Morph Market. There's just really nice animals. So nice job, guys. Thank you very, very much for the support. Trevor at Ball Labs in Aurora, Colorado is working with any gene that he can get his hands on. He loves kind of revisiting genes that have maybe been forgotten or put away or whatever it might be. But along with that, Puzzle, Ultramel Clown, VPI, Xanthic, Tri-Stripe, Monsoon, Zebra, and Sunset. He's also a licensed rodent breeder in Colorado. It's getting harder and harder to breed rodents and animals in general legally in Colorado. Trevor's doing it the right way. He's inspected, he's licensed, he's approved. So I think that those practices probably fall over into his snake production. Great guy out in Aurora. Check out Trevor at Ball Labs. Last but not least is Chris at BNS Reptilia, the original advertising sponsor of Proper Royals. We're still friends, business associates years later. Chris is my Tinley business partner, vending partner in October. We own a couple animals together, which is pretty cool as well. He's BNS Reptilia because he deals definitely in ball pythons, but blood pythons, locality, boas, colubrids of all shapes and sizes, Pituophis, those are your bull snakes, pine snakes, if you know what we're talking about there. And he can make sure that you are, he'll let you know if it's legal in your area to own those snakes or what sort of licensing you need or paperwork that you need on that. He's also the regional distributor of the Chipper Cocoa. So you can reach out to Chris on any of those topics. And thank you very, very much to the sponsors, to the audience. You guys literally keep the lights on and you keep us ad free now. No interruptions on the replay, or if you join in the middle of the show, there's no more of that. So thanks to everybody. These are all people in our community that support our community. And I'm just very, very thankful. So thanks very much. Tonight we got Danny and Renae from Portuguese Pythons. Welcome back, guys. Thanks for sticking around.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. Lisa, thank you very much. Wait a minute. I don't know what this means. We need a Minecraft Portuguese Pythons logo.
That's my mom.
Well, you could be nicer than that about your mom. Thank you, Lisa. I'm very thankful for the $5 for sure. I'm intrigued by the. So I have a 13-year-old son. I have no idea what this means other than I hear Minecraft all day. And I'm like, maybe we do need that. I'm always like, how do I like, I'm just the old dude trying to get by. I don't know what this stuff means. Like, I don't want to become the antiquated dinosaur. So yeah. All right. You guys working on one or not? Lisa's got plans?
No, our son plays Minecraft.
Okay. Yeah, loves Minecraft. Does Minecraft Legos. You know, we took them all to see the Minecraft movie. So
yep. Okay.
I don't know how to do any of it except the Legos, but. You know.
if you don't want to discuss this, I would understand completely. But how old are your children, if I can ask, or if you say if you don't want to, that's okay.
No, it's fine. Our son is 8, Dylan. Our middle daughter Delilah is 6, and then our baby Danny Joe is 3. Yes.
Wow. Okay. Cool. So I only have one, and he's 13, and these video games are like the dictators of our lives, man. There's a reason I got such healthy help in the snake room today, was basically because he'd gotten himself in trouble, and it was either I was going to take a hammer to that Xbox or we could get this project done, do a little bit of work, and then we could both calm down and we could reconsider where we think is a nice balance of video games in our lives. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at today.
Relatable. Very
okay.
relatable.
Well, I'm glad to know I'm not the only one. Oh my gosh, man.
Yeah.
Like, I want them to have nice things, but these things are just designed to be like dopamine addiction stations, man. They are brutal, man. I don't know. Maybe I was the same. I don't think, I had a NES. That's all. I don't feel like Mario 3 was doing the same thing to me, but maybe it was. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
So tell us where you guys are at. How does the snake home life? I think there's still work outside of the snake life. How does that all balance? What's that look like for you guys? Where is that?
Well, Danny's still working full time.
Yeah.
I'm still full time with the kids and the snake room. I guess social media. I'm kind of slacking a little bit on it, but social media, cleaning, and he does all the feeding of the snakes, but I do majority of the cleaning. And what else? Social media here. What else?
Just the email and everything.
Oh, yeah, emails. So like all the emails, texts, anything, that's mostly me. And then the kids, our oldest Dylan, he goes to all the shows with us.
Oh, cool.
Out.
Yeah.
The other 2 still too young, I think, to be entertained enough. So
yeah, well, and it could be a handful if you're, as you know, but if you're trying to engage customers and work and babysit at the same time, like it's really hard. It's one thing if it's sort of a family weekend hobby. It's another thing, like just in the screenshot there's lots of money that's a serious operation. So, I get it. Yeah. That's, now you both, generally vend the shows though?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got a little help with the, kids while you are out vending though?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, my parents live in Utah, but whenever they're out here, they help with the kids. Most of the time in, like for the super shows, they're very local. So they'll go to my grandma's, which is like only 20 minutes away.
Oh, cool.
And, we haven't really done many out of state shows, so haven't really had to think about that too much, but yeah, we have help with the girls.
Yeah. Yeah. Just because I'm such a nerd, and actually people that are hanging out this late are probably just the same level of nerds. Tell me, like, what's your substrate, or if you use substrate, and then like, what's your cleaning routine?
We use Pro Coco.
Okay.
I clean the babies, holdbacks, and males Thursday mornings, get up early before the kids. And then on Saturday mornings, we get up together because it's his day off from work, and we do all the adults together.
Oh, cool. And it's, I would assume with Coco, it's spot clean. And then when do you, how often do you change the tubs, or obviously sometimes you can't help but to change the tubs, but on like a normal rotation, what do you look for?
As far like we in the beginning, we used to do like a full change out where it's like it went to like every month we do a change out. Then it's like, that's just too much. And like every couple months, and it's like, I think it's just too much. So when we do spot cleaning, like if it's soiled in the area, we'll just remove like a huge amount from that area basically and just throw some more in. If it looks like, you can tell when Coco's starting to look like the color will change a little bit, like, and if the smell's not there, and if it's not smelling like Coco, like usually we just change it out. You can tell. It's
interesting you bring that up. I try and like I can't explain it to people.
You can see the look. You can actually, like, the color's different and the smell's different.
Yeah. The smell specifically, and I don't even mean just Coco. Like, I could walk into my room and know if something's off immediately. And I'm not talking about if something pooed or whatever. I'm talking like if there's an unhealthy snake, if somebody didn't eat, like I know that there's days I have to go through every tub to find out what's off in there. And there's days I walk in and I'm like, this is going to be an easy day and there's nothing wrong in here. it's really amazing. And so when you said that about the color and the smell, it's like, wait a minute, that's I got you on that.
Yeah.
Like I say, I don't know if you heard at the very beginning, it's from my restaurant days and having studied bacteria and contagions and cleanliness and blah, 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 which is different for food that you're going to put in your mouth versus, versus the enclosure. But forever I've just kept things on paper towels and had the bins. As soon as there's soil, swap it out, fresh bin, go wash the other in the sink. And it's a lot of work. And now, like I say, I've started to put using Aspen. I don't know. It still feels kind of weird. Like I just today got it. They're now 100% of the room is on Aspen. So I'll see how the next couple of weeks go. Maybe I'll feel like a new man. Be like, man, this is what I've been missing out on my whole life here. And then let me see. Oh, some other, like I say, just some other nerdy logistics stuff. What do you guys use for like labeling, tracking? Do you have different clips? Do you have different color codes? What do you do for that stuff?
Well, for she'll explain all the things, but first, like the whole thing with our system is like I want somebody to be able to, whoever's like one of us to walk in the room and be able to know like who didn't eat, like what's going on. Like you can tell a lot just by just looking at a tub, right? What color dot is on it, whatever labels on it. So that's like, so it's like real universal. So when the kids are helping us, you know, there's just like a standard like system, right? So it's easy for anybody to come in and read it, whether it's breeding season, whether if you want to know if it's like feeding or whatever. The only thing I track for feeding is just that week feeding. Like I don't track anything after that besides the babies, like the new.
So what's on our tubs is just like a little business card, and I just formatted it with a couple lines. So the adults are very simple. It's just what they are and either like their ID number or where we got it from. Same with the males and holdbacks. Our babies have like a little grid, so he can log the feedings, you know, for when they go on sale, like, oh, we know this one's already had X amount of meals. As far as like the feeding, we have like here's like a magnet tag, so he'll move it because we have the ARS, so the magnets stick right on, and then clips. So if I'm looking for sheds from like the prelay sheds, like I know to go check. And then like these little white tags are for when they shed, and so I know when I'm gonna be looking for a clutch. And then we have like little hang tags for when like a male is in with a female. So it's very standard for us, very basic. We don't use any like a husbandry pro or clutch. I use numbers on my computer because I'm just very old school, I guess, in that way.
Well,
it just seems like a lot for me.
I was going to ask, well, two thoughts. One, like every room, every snake room that I've ever walked into has its own like codes, like even mine. Like I was trying to explain to my son today. He's like, well, the clips on the lips, I was like, you could just take those off. Those don't mean anything. He's like, why do you put those on there? And I said, well, that just meant that there was a rodent that was in there and I've double checked and it's out. I just didn't go through and take them all off. I said, but the ones on the left side of the card, that means that those are the ones that haven't eaten. You have to leave those on. And he was like, these clips look the same. I'm like, well, they are. They're in different places though. You know what I mean? And so anyway, and then you mentioned earlier in the show, like you have, I think you said 40 something that like, you know, are set. So I put blue painter's tape on so I can make the notes on the painter's tape. And I'm like, okay, so if the blue ones, I was like, don't just leave them alone. They're happy. We're not changing them. And he was like, what? This is all a little, I was like, I know exactly. I can walk in here and see exactly what it means. So I understand that. But Renae, you brought up a good point or a good topic. I'd forgotten a little bit about until you just brought it up and I made a note. Your like, they're not clutch cards. They're like new owner cards. They're like new snake owner cards. You send all the history of the breeding or the parent, not all the history, but the parents, the pairing, the individual numbers. And then what else is on this? It's a really nice high gloss postcard. At least that's what I got. I don't know, maybe you only had like 10 of them, but I suspect you do that for everybody. Yeah.
I did initially. And then this last season, we ran out like halfway through and I just never got around to doing it. But it had what we thought their morph was, their clutch ID, their parents, and then their hatch date. So we did that. But yeah, I ran out and didn't make more. I kind of blew it up on that this year.
For what it's worth, it was a nice touch that I really liked. And so I use Husbandry Pro, but when I was entering everything into Husbandry Pro, it was really nice to have it all right there. And then I threw the card away. I was like, I got it in the digital, ether. I don't need it anymore. But it was a really nice touch. And you guys were great. And again, maybe it's because we have a business relationship, but you guys called me after you got some shed tests and I didn't even know that you were testing, and you were like, hey, those animals that you got from us, I don't know, if I can't remember if it was the parents or whatever, but hey, there's hurricane in the mix in there. And I'm like, yes. And I'm like, you could see it. If you know it's in the mix and then you see it, you're like, okay, now I got it. If you don't know that it's in the mix, you're like, am I just trying to see that? But when you know it's in the mix, you're like, all right, that's cool. I'm going to, and it was one of those, I was already breeding them anyhow. It didn't really matter, but it's a nice addition to have. So you guys did a great job on that, is what I was trying to say on that.
Yeah, we were lucky enough to have to, I think, let 2 or 3 customers know this past season with shed testing, that the parent proved out to be something. And so that was kind of cool to go back, because I do keep pretty good records as far as where our animals go. I know it kind of falls off a little bit at the shows, but for our morph market sales, I can track that. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I think it's incredible, because if you're selling hundreds of animals, to be like, well, let me go see who has the progeny of this animal that we just tested, that's a lot of work. And it actually is something that came up when I was talking with my son, and I was trying to explain to him what CRM is. He's like, yeah, thanks, Dad, I appreciate it. But customer relationship management. But you talked about emails earlier. Is that just emails like responding to inquiries, or do you run like email announcements to buyers? Like, I think in tough markets,
email list kind of deal.
Yeah.
No, we don't do an email list. Just as far as like inquiries, or I do all the ordering of like Pro Coco, and I mean whatever needs ordering. It's basically me, ordering the deli cups, or ordering, I guess Pro Coco. He does the rat feed, but it's pretty much the logistic stuff is me. Yeah.
I like I don't like the root cause of it, but I like the idea that like challenging times make us really, really think about what we're doing and how we can do it better. So like, it's been in my mind. I'm like, if I would just apply myself, I could look up 80% of the people that have bought animals from me. Sure. They're ball python owners. They seem to be happy with my product and my service, because I didn't hear any complaints. So these are hot leads, proven buyers. And I'm sitting here going, not much is moving these days. Well, those are the thoughts that go through my head when I'm washing tubs. But I was like, maybe I need to find the time to get back to that. And I'm coming to the conclusion of a massive project that's taken an incredible amount of time. So I'm going to have some business time freed up where I could get into that. So when you said emails, I was like, I'm going to ask her about that.
I mean, I guess I could do something like that, but I don't know. I've never I don't like big blast emails, but then at the same time, sometimes you can like find like a deal in that email type. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and I'm with you. I don't like spammy emails. That's not my thing. But if like, say last year's people that bought from the Ultramel Clown, het stuff that I got, this year, when I do the next evolution of those pairings, maybe I would reach out to them and be like, hey, I know you bought this last year. Just want to let you know, or give you first dibs, or whatever it is. You could be a little bit targeted of like, hey, you liked this, maybe you're going to love this kind of thing. It's, I do, to an extent, I believe good selling is good service. Now it can get annoying just blasting people, but that's my thought on that anyway. Not that I'm doing it. I wish I was. I need to listen. I need to listen to this tomorrow and be like, all right, Adam, there's your new project. Get to it.
They got my wheels spinning too. So
good. All right. I didn't mean it in a way that I needed to get them spinning. I think you guys do great. That's Charlie at Reagan Renae. I agree. A good workspace should speak to you. It helps effectiveness and efficiency. If you're comfortable, like, one of the last properties I ever worked at, the GM was amazing. He said, I want your chefs dressed impeccably if they can't afford good knives, I want our house knives to be professional top caliber. And I'm like, it's a lot of money. He goes, they're either going to respect it and love what they're working with and put out amazing stuff, or we'll know right away that they're not for us and they'll have to go. It was amazing. I still love that thought. So really nicely organized behind you is what I see. Top-notch equipment. I'm guessing, maybe you did, but I'm guessing you didn't go straighten all the cards just for your show tonight. I guess I'm assuming that that's how you operate.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. When we first put them on, I made a template so I could put it on the tub and put the card right in the middle.
Did you really? That's the stuff
that's how bad it is. That's how bad it is over here.
Yeah. No, I think, but that to me is the stuff that I love, the mindset that we don't like. Our experiences aren't in vacuums. You don't do one thing one way and then do another thing with no regard for like your habits and your personality is probably overlapping, snakes, life, work, whatever it might be. I see I'm touching some,
she knows already. I'll come in here and it'll be like one of the cards is like messed up and I'm like, can you change this one, please?
Oh, OCD.
No, I look, they're live animals. I think those attention to details are very cool.
Yeah,
and
if you're gonna do it right. Like, what's the point of doing it if you're just gonna do it half-ass?
Yeah. And I think that speaks to a brand and personal pride. And I don't know, maybe it's cheesy. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like there's times when I talk to my son and I'm like, do you know what your last name is? You're better than that. Like, that's what we, like, I don't know. I do some of that sometimes. So. For people that don't know, let everybody know, where can they find you guys? Where's the next show coming up? Where can they find you on the internet? How do they get in touch with you? All that good stuff.
You can get in touch with us by Instagram or Morph Market. Also email. All that info is either in our Instagram or our Morph Market, both in the bio. We will be vending later this month at the Pomona Reptile Super Show, also known as the LA Pet Fair. June 28th and 29th. It's going to be a huge show. I hope if you're in Southern California, you want to make a trip out, you should come check it out. It's ginormous. Birds, fish.
A lot of reptile, like a lot of diversity in reptiles.
Yeah.
You can find pretty much anything you're looking for.
Yeah.
Is that the one at the new venue too? I'm a little bit out of the world of the scene, but like past year or so,
it's still at the Fairplex.
Okay.
The reptiles still get the largest building, but then Rami added on the two other buildings at expo halls.
Oh wow, okay.
So it's like it's all fenced off, so it's like one big event, one ticket price for both days, and it's probably going to be a lot bigger this year than it was last year, and it was crazy last year.
Yeah, last year there's people that just came both days, no matter what, and they're there all day long too.
Nice. When is that? I'm sorry, I know you said it's coming up, but when is that?
It's June 28th and 29th.
Oh, right around the corner coming up. All right, very nice. Okay. So go check them out. Audience, if you missed where to get any of that, all of their information is also right down below in the description. So you can link into, I can't remember which one it is, but you'll get in touch with them through that description as well. Shout out real quick to Black Lagoon Creatures.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. All right. Very, very specifically something I noticed today. So I catch things when they're different or they're eye-catching, like we all try and name our brand like they're going to be these most aha things, but they did a really cool thing and I don't know how they did it on Instagram. Like my thing just says Proper Royals and like the regular old, whatever Times New Roman font or whatever. And theirs has these little tiles that are different sizes. And at first I was like, I don't even know what that says, but there I am looking at it for 12 seconds, realizing that it says Black Lagoon Creatures. And now here I am recognizing them and talking about them. So nice hack, nice work. You earned the shout out there. And it sounds like they're good people if you're wearing a shirt that they made for you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, cool. Well, guys, thank you so much. I hope that you'll come back maybe before 2 years.
Yeah.
And I know that didn't sound very convincing. Why I said maybe is maybe I'll come to you before 2 years.
Yes,
maybe I'll get my butt out to California is what I would really like to be able to do. I always have always have visions of it. And then I'm like, it's going to be really hard to get away for 3 or 4 days and then look Kelly square in the eye and be like, I'm going to LA for work, lots of work. I'll see you when I get back. So, but I do have it in, it is in my mind. I know that the January Pomona show is in January. Is that correct?
Yeah. So June and January for Pomona. And then this year, the Anaheim one's in September. So you still have time to come to Anaheim.
September. Oh, no. I think I looked at that. I think I actually have a conflict of a show that I've already got booked here.
I think the super show, I mean, the Pomona one's
bigger.
Yeah. There's more people that come from out of state too, as far as vendor wise.
Yeah. So anyhow, if I could get there, I got a few contacts that maybe I could do some work for as well. Like, I don't know, maybe Redline or Palm Street needs a representative. We could make it a little more legit work,
Yeah.
Well, thank you all very much. All right. Everybody's getting shout outs at the end. This is Andy Barnett. He was the best man at my wedding, does not own any snakes, nor does he watch the show. I don't know what he's doing here hanging out tonight, but it's good to see you, Andy. We got to catch up soon, brother. We went to college together, all that good stuff, man. Anyhow, thanks everybody. Next week, I believe it is Shane from Small Town Exotics. If it's not, there's going to be a show. I say he's on the schedule, but I can't remember which order is which. So I'll be back next Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. Danny, Renae, thank you all very, very much. I always enjoy hanging out with you. And stick around for just a moment. I won't keep you long. I know you got family to get to. But thank you, everybody. We'll pull up the exit. See ya.